where they literally will bring and hire, and pay for or have a part of their team, Poleros or other, satanically oriented priestesses that can draw powers for invisibility to protect them and all that kind of stuff. So when it comes down to satanic rituals, it's about ultimately the revelation of dark powers and of Satan. And let me just say this under point number 1. Satan and dark powers do respond. They do respond. I mean, if you use a Ouija board, which again was not led by the Spirit of God, obviously like demonic doctrine, it was inspired by demonic presence. There's no question about that. I can remember when I first got saved, nobody had to tell me. I was filled with the Holy Spirit, absolutely on fire, and loved Jesus, and I knew I had to go down to my room back when I was 19 years old and clean out everything. Look into my room. I didn't care if it was music, posters on the wall, anything that I had that was demonically oriented or tools. And I remember my Ouija board and occult books and materials and all that, and to take everything out to the old trash burner. We lived out towards the country. Brought it all out there, all by myself. Nobody was around. Poured gas all over it. Lit it. And I can remember feeling really, just joyful in the Lord, that it was like a real, cutting off of the past. It was already done in my heart, and I wasn't about to. People said, why don't you sell it and give it to other people? No, I don't want to demonize other people with all that deception. So it was a matter of getting rid of it. Anyway, it involves ultimately this principle. If you call on Satan, ultimately he will respond. This is what I've seen, in the study of ancient, demon gods and goddesses of all forms of Satanism, Luciferianism, and individuals that we've had to do deliverance. And again, we spent thousands of hours in deliverance encounters with individuals. If you call on the demons by name, if you call on Satan, if you look that direction, please understand, as we've said in session 13, it's clear that Satan seeks worshipers. That's his insatiable eternal lust. He wants to be worshipped as God. How is he going to get that done without engaging humanity, lying to humanity, drawing humanity? I mean, look at some of it. Even in India, among the Hindus, and among all the different, listen, they've got, I have read at one point up to 300 million different gods and goddesses. So many that, I mean, there's so much, you can't even study it all. But the principle is the same. Against Christ, against the living God, and being drawn into, including, in India, human sacrifice. Including spirituality, like one guy was telling me how to appease the demon gods, to grow and develop spiritually. They were to stand in place, fall to the ground with their arms to their side, slam to the ground with their face hitting the ground, mark above their head with their hand into the dirt where they were, then stand up, walk up to that mark, fall again, and do that again and again and again and again until you get to the temple where the demon is, to appease the demon. When I see demon worship among the Mayans, the Aztecs, Sumer, many of those kind of places all over, the Middle East even, Africa, even in the voodoo stuff, you see humanity degraded. You see humanity misused. You see stuff that is just absolutely incredible. And how can people do this? When I saw just a couple months ago the special 2-hour program on the crystal skulls, again, because of 2012, you're gonna find deeper levels of rituals, whether they call them satanic or not, and gateways and doorways opening up in the next number of years because of 2012. And as archaeologists dig up ancient ritual sites and bring out the old ritual slabs and amulets and scrolls and materials, guess what's going to happen? They're going to conjure, they're going to call, they're going to go after, that's what the whole thing with Luciferians is, to look into those skin-covered ritual books to find some of the oldest rituals that they can use to conjure powers. So the bottom line, and this is, let me say something very important here. I think that if you have any young people that would deal with Dungeons and Dragons, if you look into the 13th level and others, you're going to find that they use some of the same demon names that is found in the book, the Satanic Bible. And I think that when people find the names of demons, symbols of demons, the sigils of demons, and so forth, sigils they call them, and languages that are used in ritual formats, that is all the things that help call the demon. It's like ringing a doorbell. You know, if I'm walking down the street and I hear somebody yell out my name, my full name, Russ Dizdar, I will turn around. If people are going to call on Satan, call on demons, and so forth, they're going to turn around. They're pursuing people anyway. And so that's what we need to understand. We need to understand the satanic agenda involves the pursuit of humanity, wanting them to bow down, Matthew 4, wanting them to bow down, and then offering them to give them things to appease them and to draw them to. Well, point 2 on page 30 is the way of contact. How do they open doors, gateways? Many individuals believe in the omological working of Aleister Crowley that we've already looked at earlier, where this Lamb, L-A-M, this entity that he opened a door to, some believe are connected, this entity is connected to the Great White Brotherhood or connected to the Ascended Masters and has a lot to do with the Tibetans and so forth, which, by the way, the Great White Brotherhood is supposed to be over and above, hiding in that territory. That's why it's so spiritual. Well, you're talking about, again, the Cosmocraters, Ephesians 6. You're dealing with the principalities and powers and the wicked forces in the heavenly realms that oppose Christ, oppose the elect angels of God, and oppose the